Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gotta Know Ball. This is the second episode, and that's absolutely right. I'm recording this one from my ex-wife's garage.
You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You'll never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball like Barry. You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball like Barry, Ball like Barry, Ball like Barry. It's Ball like Barry, it's Ball like Barry, Ball like Barry.
Howdy, sports fans. It's been an exciting week in the world of football. Week one of college is in the books. We had some blockbuster trades in the NFL world, particularly if you're a Packers fan, and unfortunate if you're a Cowboys fan. I'm going to be going over another episode of the standard. We're going to find out who is not meeting the standard, who is meeting the standard, and who is exceeding the standard. We're going to go over this first week of college football. We're going to make our predictions on week one of the NFL. I'm going to be picking every single game, my prediction on how they're going to turn out and more. Let's get started with the standard. If you weren't watching last week, in the military, I'm an Army guy. When you're training on a particular weapon system or a particular task, there are certain standards you have to meet in order to be qualified proficient at that task. Now, different standards are for different events. Like say if it's a medic event, you have to meet a medic standard. We're going to go over teams, players, individuals, yada, yada, who might not be meeting the standard placed before them by their team, by their fans, by their ownership, and so forth. So starting off with people who fail to meet the standard. The entire Dallas Cowboys front office. What the heck was that? We thought Jerry was just bloviating, talking about how Micah Parsons' agent told him to stick deals up his ass and things like that. It was embarrassing how this entire situation... y'all seen the Family Guy meme?
Hold on. You have a choice. You can have the boat or the mystery box.
What, are you crazy? We'll take the boat.
Oh, no, not so fast, Lois. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
Then let's just...
We'll take the box.
We'll take the box. You gave up a boat for free tickets to a crappy comedy club.
Come on, Lois. You're acting like this is the first time I've ever done something stupid. You remember the time I was supposed to get that boat? A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
Then let's just...
We'll take the box.
The mystery box of the boat? He took the mystery box. It can even be a boat. All for Kenny Clark and 2 firsts. Ideally, if the Packers win it all, those 2 firsts are going to be pick number 32, which is basically a second-round pick. I'm banking, as a Packers fan, we at least make the NFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl, and Micah Parsons is going to get closer to 20 sacks than 10. He's going to be an absolute game wrecker. Kenny Clark was already getting old. We can replace him at the nose tackle position. I'm so excited to get Micah Parsons on this team. I already bought a jersey. It'll be here on the 19th. As long as it gets here before week 4 when we play the Cowboys, that's all that matters. I'm so excited for this game. I'm so excited for this team this year. Our defense is going to be something special. We got Micah Parsons from freaking Dallas. We got Xavier McKinney last year from the Giants. The NFC East is just feeding us, dude. And then on top of that, y'all talk all this crap about not being able to sign Micah Parsons, how the money's not worth it. And then they signed DaRon Bland to a 4-year deal days later. We didn't even have the bad taste of the Micah Parsons trade out of our mouth. And now we're reading about how he just signed DaRon Bland to a 4 years, $92 million. You'll pay some mid-ass corner that much, but you won't pay a generational edge rusher what he's worth? Brother, where are your priorities? Trayvon Diggs is your CB1. You just paid CB2 that much money, and you couldn't even pay arguably the best edge rusher in the league what he's worth. Yeah, him and Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, they'll go back and forth, but if you think Micah Parsons is the best edge rusher in the league, no one's gonna look like you're stupid. He has absolutely made the case to be that guy, and you just don't want to pay him. It baffles me. Jerry Jones, I normally don't advocate for the sell the team people, but brother, and your son's not any better, man. You got to bring in some kind of guy that knows how to GM this thing, who has experience running an NFL team. I understand you have experience running an NFL team, but that experience is dated. You haven't been to the Super Bowl since the 90s. I'm not saying that to diss on you. There's moths everywhere in here, by the way. So sorry if you hear some wing beats. This is literally in the freaking garage. I got the door open so I can cool off, but I'm dedicated to this grind. You feel me? So yeah, Micah Parsons gets paid. Get out of here. Menace in the North. That's the Packers' new motto now. We're going to be brawling with the Lions. Vikings are scared out of their gourd. Caleb Williams, bro, it's going to be a black tie affair because we all getting personal suited and booted on Caleb Williams. You thought he got sacked a lot last year? Micah Parsons is in his division now. You better hope that the offensive line got revamped. Otherwise, brother's going to be on his butt more than he's on his feet. Yeah, the next set of people who don't meet the standard, Alabama. Caleb DeBoer. This is not your granddaddy's Alabama. Go look up the picture of Nick Saban's office versus the current coaching office. It looks like what they did to McDonald's. Nick Saban's office is, you got the play place. You got those old grimy gaming controllers glued into the wall. The piping hot fries that you just burn your lips on versus modern McDonald's. All gray. No self-serve drink stations. You got to ask for napkins. That's Caleb DeBoer's office. And you could tell that that represents itself in the culture. Where are the running backs? Where are the Derrick Henrys? Where are the Jahmyr Gibbs? Where are the Mark Ingrams, et cetera, et cetera? This running game is not ideal. Simpson, the quarterback, should not be your best rusher. And he was only your best rusher because he was running for his life. You saw him terrified. He tried to do all he could. He's a good quarterback, absolutely. But you can't coach pressure. And he succumbed to it. They say pressure builds diamonds, but it also bursts pipes. And brother got his pipes bursted by freaking Florida State. And bro, is Florida State back? Ever since your boy Jameis was there, they kind of been a little murmur in the night. But Florida State jumped all the way to rank 14 from being unranked just by knocking off Alabama. And Alabama fell all the way down to 21. Insane game, probably the most surprising game of the week, and it was amazing to watch. I'm so excited to be getting into college football. I normally just pay cursory attention to it because I'm an NFL guy. I want to know the names in the draft. So I typically only watch college tape toward the end of the season. I watch the playoffs and things like that. This is my first time ever watching the entire opening weekend. I watched most games, at least most ranked games. Also, the Alabama defense just didn't seem like they were ever going to get a stop. The entire Florida State offense had their playbooks memorized, it seems like. Yeah, they kind of got a little spicy there at the end, but dude, Florida State absolutely put on a clinic. They deserve to be ranked. Don't know why they weren't to begin with. If this is what they're rocking with, expect to see them in the top 12 soon. They just absolutely surprised the entire nation, and I couldn't have been more happier. I personally am a huge Bama hater. And also, OU is in the SEC now. I need SEC teams to lose. I would be indifferent on their win-loss because OU wasn't making any four-man CFPs anyways. But now, bro, Alabama, eat one. Eat a fat one, a big stinky one. I'm excited to keep watching. Hopefully Alabama can turn around because I still like good football. I just like when we win over Alabama, that's all. I'm going to single out two people, both from the same game. Texas, Arch Manning. Maybe a little overhyped. Maybe the name on the back of his jersey was doing a little bit of the heavy lifting on this one. You could tell he was kind of in over his head a little bit. He didn't necessarily play a bad game, but he didn't play the game that we were all hyping him up to have. Only a little over 100, not even 200 yards passing, one touchdown, one interception. Kind of mid. Also, Texas couldn't get the running game going. Texas is known for having good running backs. You know, Bijan Robinson. They just got Jaden Blue drafted to the Cowboys. You need to establish the run. Otherwise, they're never going to respect the pass, and you can see that happen with Ohio State. Ohio State has one of the best defenses in the country and probably has the best secondary in the country. They are locked down. The entire cornerback room of that team must have been snorting that Darrelle Revis powder because every single DB in that room was locking their man down, was putting him in chains, freaking lockdown. It was insane to watch. On the other side, Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith has been touted as one of the, if not the best receiver in the entire country. Go back and watch his tape. He had tons of simple, fundamental drops. Balls hitting him square in the hands, dropping to the floor like it's not his fault. I need to see some more tape before I buy into the Jeremiah Smith hype. He's on the cover of CFB 26. That was not cover athlete play. Hopefully it was just a fluke. I want to see him put up 1,000. I want to see him get 18 touchdowns this year. He has the mindset. You watch an interview with Jeremiah Smith, he has the mindset of a number one. But that one game, for some reason, absolutely not ideal for Jeremiah Smith lovers. But I do believe he can turn it around. Hopefully he just had a bad day, and maybe the Texas defense did some type of scheming or something to stop him from getting open that I just didn't notice. But to me, he looked like he should have had twice as many catches as he did today. A lot of those were simple drops. Hoping the kid gets better. Hope Arch Manning gets better. That's about, actually, there's one more team that I'm going to expose that do not meet the standard of an FBS football program. I'm in the United States Army. I am friends with a lot of officers that went to West Point. I'm friends with a lot of officers that played for the Army Black Knights. Every single one of them was embarrassed to receive a text that the Army Black Knights lost to Tarleton State, an FCS school out of Texas, in double overtime. I understand military academies can't have ideally sized offensive and defensive linemen. I'd never even heard of this school until it showed up across my screen that my branch's football program lost to them. Absolutely disgraceful. I'm hoping, and then on the other hand, Navy destroyed their opponent like a 50 burger. I'm not about to go look up the score because it's a waste of time. That's how big of a blowout it was. The Army Navy game this year is going to be a slaughterhouse if Army doesn't figure its stuff out. That was absolutely disgraceful. I don't care if you're a service academy or not. You got to be able to put a good product on the field. You're representing the country. Army has been ranked off and on several times over the past, 10 years? They play good football. And when they're playing right, it's hard to play against. You can't tell me that Tarleton State got in your head, sniffed out your playbook, diagnosed your schemes perfectly. That just can't be the answer, and I refuse to accept it. So they're going to be the last people I call out on not meeting the standard. Now let's call out teams that do meet the standard. Ohio State meets the standard. They should have been number one. They just won the national championship. Why were they ranked 3? I think they were ranked 3 simply because the quarterback in Texas has the last name Manning. You see that defense at Ohio State? Brother, they're going to have so many first-round draft picks, corners, safeties. Ohio State's probably the team to beat this year. Penn State looks pretty good, but, dude, they weren't playing Texas. Ohio State versus Penn State would be an amazing championship series. It'd be so much fun to watch. Another person who meets the standard, and this is just particularly because I know how OU fans are, we are quite particular about our quarterbacks. The standard in Oklahoma is Heisman. If you are not Heisman caliber, you get sent out. Look what happened to Spencer Rattler. 1/2 against West Virginia, and the fans were chanting, "We want Caleb. We want Caleb." And guess what happened? I mean, yeah, he didn't do it with OU, but Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner. We tend to have the eye test for this. John Mateer, transfer quarterback from Washington State, is that dude. Go look at his tape. He absolutely has NFL caliber arm talent. His reads are insane. His touch is perfect. He was lofting it over linebackers, dropping it just before DBs. Insanity. John Mateer absolutely needs to be on your radar for Heisman watch. He looks insane. Yeah, I get it. It's just Illinois State. But, brother, I'm so excited for Michigan. We got to play them next Saturday, but it's in Norman, thank God. Because if we were going to friggin' Michigan, it'd be a sad day in the big house. We'd be getting our cheeks clapped. I'm more confident we could take them down in Norman. I'm excited to see what happens. John Mateer is going to be a problem for Michigan. Circle that one on your calendars. Make sure you're watching Michigan versus OU. It's going to be an insane game. He also got legs too. Don't count on his legs. He can run on you. Watch out now. Another guy meeting the standard for his team and his fans and the country is Lenora Sellers. He's the Heisman hopeful for a reason. Everyone thinks he's got what it takes, and he proved it in his game. Some athletic ability on the kid. Broken run, broken jump, broken throw. I bet if you lined him up out wide, he could probably catch and make some dudes miss. I'm excited to see what South Carolina puts out there. Go Gamecocks. It's always fun when they're winning because you got to hear announcers say their name. And then we'll round up the meets the standard category with the usual suspects. Georgia, Penn State, Oregon, all of them putting on clinics deserving of the top 8 rank that they all are. Don't be surprised if you see them one loss, maybe two losses, depending on the caliber of their opponents. They're going to be so much fun to watch, especially as we get closer to playoffs. I'm excited. Now that we're done talking about people who meet the standard, let's talk about those that actually exceed the standard. We'll talk about some programs, some individuals. We'll get started with Florida State as a whole, in particular the quarterback, Tommy Castellanos. Amazing dual threat quarterback. Didn't actually throw for a lot, but he kept it simple, kept it clean. No interceptions. Yeah, he threw no touchdowns, but he was also the team's leading rusher. And you could tell, bro had the swag. He put the team on his back when they needed it most. You absolutely could not count out Florida State with this man under center. I'm so excited to see them in week 2. They got a cupcake game in week 2, nowhere near the level of Alabama. I'm so excited. Don't be surprised if you see them going 2-0 into week 3. They are absolutely back. The program's ready to rock and roll. Next up on those that exceed the standard, Green Bay's front office, baby. We never make blockbuster trades. Last trade I was excited for was freaking Jimmy Graham. That's how long it's been since we made a good trade that I personally was ready to be happy about. You probably got to go all the way back to Julius Peppers to find a good defensive weapon on the line. Rashawn Gary had that 1 year, but kind of since then he's been Kenny Clark was great at the nose, BJ Raji, but nowhere near the absolute potential of Micah Parsons. I already bought his jersey, like I said. He's switching to number 1, which hasn't been worn since Curly Lambeau wore it. You ever hear of that name before? Yeah, he's the guy that named the freaking stadium after. Micah Parsons is going to eat. He is going to feast. Xavier McKinney, probably at least 8 interceptions this year. Also, don't count out our freaking other people on the line. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness. We're going to be a problem for opposing offenses. I'm ready for Green Bay to be a defensive team again. I've watched the Reggie White highlights. I lived through Julius Peppers and BJ Raji and Kenny Clark. I want to be known for our defense. We already decided we're a running team. We got Josh Jacobs. I want people afraid to come into Green Bay in the winter because it's so cold and we're going to hit them so hard that they got to bring hella ice packs. They got to hop in the tubs at halftime. I want people hurting when they leave Green Bay in Minecraft. The next program that easily exceeds the standard, we saw them play Colorado in Boulder. That's Georgia Tech and Haynes King. Mom, I want Josh Allen. Mom says, we have Josh Allen at home. Josh Allen at home is Haynes King. He was amazing with the ball in his hand, whether he was throwing it to a receiver, throwing it to a tight end, or keeping it himself. His athletic ability is not to be trifled with. He's going to be insane in the league because you already know he's going. Also, if you got college football 25 or 26, go do a Georgia Tech dynasty right now. Haynes King read option. You could feast on those. You could put food on the table for months with a Haynes King read option playbook. So much fun, so versatile, and you could tell his teammates love him. He has the heart and soul of that team in the palms of his hands, like Doc Ock with the precious tritium. Power of the sun in the palm of his hands, except the power of the sun is Georgia Tech's potential, and the palm of his hands is literally the palms of his hands, which he uses to deliver strikes to his wide receivers, which he uses to stiff arm opposing DBs, which he uses to truck opposing linebackers, which he uses to flip off opposing defenses, because you know his entire method of play is a giant FU to people who think they're going to rock Georgia Tech. No, sir. Colorado saw it first. Coach Prime saw it first. Georgia Tech not to be trifled with. Haynes King not to be trifled with. Keep an eye on Georgia Tech and Haynes King. You're not going to stop seeing highlights from him. Not at all. And we're going to do it last, exceeds the standard. Whoever Deron Bland's agent is. How did he get a massive blockbuster deal right after the fumble of Micah Parsons? Like I said, 4 years, $92 million for CB2, because they still got Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is much better than Deron Bland. Yeah, Deron Bland set the pick 6 record, but he was very hit or miss. He was either going to intercept the ball for 6 or the receiver is going to catch the ball for 6. There was no in between. He is glass cannon type build. He'll knock your jaw off or he will get knocked out in the first round. There's no in between. And they decided that's more important than a generational talent on the D-line. Whatever, man. I'm so glad I'm not a Cowboys fan. There's tons around me. I got to deal with them all the time. I respect ball. I respect people that can put it out on the line and say, even though I hate the ownership, even though there are some players that piss me off, I'm still a Cowboys fan for life. Those are people I don't hate, particularly because I love seeing them in the playoffs. Green Bay versus Dallas in the playoffs is one of my certainties in life. Water's wet. Gravity makes objects fall at 9.81 meters per second squared. The Cowboys will lose to the Packers in the playoff. Facts of life right there. Anyways, that'll be it for the standard. We went through people who don't meet the standard, people who meet the standard, and people that actually exceed the standard. Let's go ahead and do a quick look ahead at week 2 of college football. All right, I really wasn't planning on doing a look ahead for college football week 2, but I decided screw it. I enjoyed week 1 so much, we'll do week 2 right now. You're going to want to watch Iowa versus Iowa State. That's a huge rivalry game. Iowa State's ranked 16. Iowa's not ranked at all, but you best believe Iowa will still bring the heat, even though only one of them is ranked. Go ahead and watch. You're going to see some big corn-fed boys going at each other's throats. Another good one, big rivalry game, South Carolina State versus South Carolina. Get to watch some good Lenora Sellers gameplay against the state rival. Should be pretty fun to watch. You also got, okay, here's one that shouldn't be a headline, but it is. You're going to want to tune in to Alabama facing UL Monroe at 6:45 on Saturday. Now, Alabama is ranked 21. UL Monroe is unranked. However, we saw what happened last time Alabama played an unranked opponent. It went sideways. So be sure to tune in. Watch General Booty. Yes, that is the quarterback for UL Monroe's name, General Booty. Watch General Booty play up against this Alabama defense. It might go left for Alabama. We have no idea. Make sure you tune in. However, the biggest game of the weekend, easily the most entertaining, ranked 15 Michigan going to Norman and playing rank 18 OU. John Mateer, Bryce Underwood. This is going to be a quarterback battle. Don't be surprised if one of these guys puts up 500 yards. This might be a shootout. Bedlam type shootout, Red River rivalry type shootout, because both these teams' offenses are so dynamic, are so exciting. You're going to have to tune in and watch. College Game Day is going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. I really hope Pat puts on the Sooner Schooner hat and picks OU. I do not want to have the Wolverine fans talking so much mess. We already moved to the SEC to play hard opponents. We don't need a Big Ten school coming in and adding to the pile. We got enough on our plate as is. Hopefully we get Michigan out of there. I don't care if it's a close game. I don't care if we win in quadruple overtime. I just want a W. Please, for the love of all things that are holy, don't have Michigan do what Michigan does to OU. Save that for Ohio State. Save that for Oregon. Save that for other Big Ten schools. Please don't take that anger out on us. We didn't do nothing to y'all, man. We didn't do nothing. We planted the flag in Ohio State Stadium just for you, man. Come on now. Anyways, one team isn't ranked. The other's ranked 20. Ole Miss versus Kentucky. That's some Southern boys down there. They're going to be running the ball. You're going to see how Ole Miss is adapting without having Jackson Dart there. See how the quarterback play is. Yeah, Kentucky's not ranked, but they're absolutely still a school you don't want to sleep on. They'll come to your house and punch you in the mouth. Best believe that. Make sure you watch Ole Miss versus Kentucky. Looks like Texas is playing San Jose State. Arch Manning has to put some tape up there, some good tape. Maybe San Jose State will be his get-right game because he wasn't able to do it against Ohio State. San Jose State seems like a little bit more of an appetizer before you get into the meat and potatoes of the whole season. Ohio State was throwing up some curveballs. We'll see how he adapts, if he can run the type of drills he needs to run when under pressure of the clock, when under defensive schemes. Hopefully he can adapt mentally and have that translate to physical play. We'll see about that when they play San Jose State on Saturday at 11 a.m. That'll be on ABC. Maybe Army, Kansas State, if you want to watch a service academy get clapped again in the Little Apple. That's up to you, man. Really just make sure you tune in to Michigan versus OU. You got to see this John Mateer kid, man. He is insane. The arm talent is absolutely incredible. It's so refreshing. My son's name is Baker. We named him after Baker Mayfield. If it was going to be a girl, we were going to name her Kyler. Okay, OU fans are used to dominant quarterback play. John Mateer is that guy. All right, that's all I'm going to say. You will see on Saturday for yourself. Best believe that. I got OU winning this one. Boomer Sooner all day, every day, and twice on Saturdays. You feel me? We're going to get into some week 1 predictions. I'm going to go through each matchup. I'm going to come up with a little 1950s newspaper style blurb to go with it. Thought that'd be kind of cute. And then we'll go through some bullet points you're going to want to pay attention to during the game. First game, opening day for the Philadelphia Eagles, welcoming in divisional rival Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be unveiling their Super Bowl banner from last year. And regardless of the Micah Parsons trade, this is Philadelphia all the way. The headline I came up with for this one is... Eagles hang banner plus 40 points on Cowboys. This is going to be a blowout. There is no way the Cowboys have the defensive capability to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. As much as you would like to say the Micah Parsons deal affects this, it doesn't. It might negate a touchdown or two if he was there, but it's still going to be a massive Eagles W. I put here, and I went through this breakdown the day the Micah Parsons trade went through. Expect 500 total yards of scrimmage from the Eagles, be it Jalen Hurts passing to Devontae and to A.J. Brown, be it Saquon running for 200 or Jalen running for 100 himself. I would be surprised if the Eagles don't get 500 yards from scrimmage at least. And on the other side, Dak is going to be fighting for his life this entire game. The defensive line of the Eagles are going to get in the backfield. The secondary of the Eagles are going to suffocate the wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb can't catch the ball every play. Javonte Williams, while I do enjoy his type of running style, he's an amazing power runner. Him and Jane Blue are not going to be able to crack open this defense. Now, when you got for some reason, Philadelphia drafts the biggest guys and y'all let them do it. Y'all let him get away with it. Freaking Jalen Carter. Bro is huge, built like Aaron Donald. Now, I'm not saying he's the next Aaron Donald, but he's going to be able to crash out on the run like he is. Brother. Then you got Zach Bond, one of the best linebackers from last year, was absolutely a Defensive Player of the Year finalist for a reason. He's going to be shoring up the middle of the field calling the freaking shots. Then you got the corners. You got the great white hope, Cooper DeJean. You got Reed Blankenship. You got the rookie corner from last year who had a great season, who even ranked higher than Cooper on the NFL Top 100 in Quinyon Mitchell. This team is not to be trifled with. And I'm afraid the Cowboys are going to trifle with them. This was the final bullet point I wrote for this game. Eagles have the edge in every single position group, except for maybe kicker. Brandon Aubrey might be a smidge better than Jake Elliott, and that is it. That is the only advantage the Cowboys have going into this Week 1 matchup. Talk to your friends who are Cowboy fans. Call your people in Texas. Tell them it's going to be okay. Jalen Hurts can't really hurt you. Jalen Hurts isn't real. Well, he might be for one night on Thursday. But other than that, put it out of your head. Cowboys already got to be looking at Week 2 because this week I'm writing them off right now. I will eat crow next episode if I'm wrong, but I'm so confident that the Eagles are going to do their thing. Don't even worry about it, Eagles fans. Y'all are going to be eating good this year. Your team only got better. You brought back all the anchor pieces. Everyone is ready to improve upon how they were last year. Saquon just got voted #1 player by his peers. They're ready to lock, rock, and get it done. I was raised an Eagles fan before I can make up my own mind. So I still have a soft place in my heart for him. I was watching them back when it was Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook and like Jeremy Maclin and Michael Vick. I stopped being an Eagles fan when Chip Kelly ruined DeMarco Murray. I was so excited. They traded for DeMarco Murray from the Cowboys, and he might have got 500 yards from scrimmage. And then Chip Kelly was fired. And then that was the same year I saw Aaron Rodgers playing, and I was like, dude, this guy's good. And so I became a Packers fan at that point. Unfortunately, I'm not going to claim the Eagles as my second team. I believe in picking one team and just being a fan of the game for everyone else. But I still got respect for the Birds and the city of Philly. They know how to play. They throw snowballs with batteries in them at freaking Santa Claus, man. Don't talk mess to no Eagles fan. And they're going to be sitting mighty high on their throne once they get this dub against Dallas. Let's get on to the next slate of games. Got us a game in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Kansas City versus the Los Angeles Chargers on Friday. That is going to be quite a conundrum because LA, at least the Chargers, don't really have a home field advantage. And especially a Chiefs game, if you watch the Chiefs at SoFi when the Chargers play, probably 50% Chiefs fans. That gets negated by playing in Sao Paulo. There's not going to be that giant influx of Chiefs fans riding the Pat Mahomes bandwagon, riding the Brittany Mahomes TikTok wagon, or the freaking Travis Kelce Taylor Swift wagon. It should be a fairly neutral site fan-wise. It should just be people that want to see football, kind of like how you watch games in Germany. The Germany game was insane. Everyone was just there to watch football. They didn't care who won. They didn't care who lost. It was such a lovely sight. And I'm hoping we see that with this game in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, I am going to take the Chargers in this one, not because I'm a Mahomes hater. The headline I put for this one, Rashee Rice, crucial criminal, question mark? Their receiving core is less than ideal already, and now Rashee Rice is serving a 6-game suspension for his reckless driving incident. They needed him. Hollywood Brown, who knows if he's going to play? Their best receiver, Xavier Worthy, maybe? Or Juju Smith-Schuster's ghost, perhaps? We saw Travis Kelce lost a step last year, and Derwin James is going to be on him like a shadow. You best believe that. Now, Kansas City's offensive line is nice. Khalil Mack might not be able to do what he wants to do against him. I firmly believe that Kansas City has the best center in the league in Creed Humphrey. The rest of their offensive line is not too shabby either. Only one you want to look out for is Jawan Taylor. Brother commits a penalty every freaking 5 plays. It's quite annoying. You saw he had the little kick step issue last year. I bet that hadn't gone away. Mahomes' ability to extend the play is going to be key for the Chiefs here. He is going to be scrambling. Pockets are going to collapse. Hopefully Pacheco brought his big boy underwear. You're going to need him to hit them angry runs because Derwin James is going to be in the box all the time. Khalil Mack is going to be looking to crash down every play. Those are the 2 big defensive weapons that they got to worry about. On the offensive side of the ball for the Chargers, personally, I believe they're just more talented. Ladd McConkey, one of the bright rookies from last year, entering his 2nd year, already twinned up with Justin Herbert. They're on the same page. Then Keenan Allen comes back. Keenan Allen is just a good wide receiver as coach as he is a wide receiver. Still has some of the best hand-eye coordination in the league, some of the best footwork in the league. Don't sleep on Keenan Allen. He went on vacation to Chicago, but bro is back now, back where he belongs. Unfortunately, Mike Williams returned to the Chargers and then retired. So they don't really have that nice 3-piece. Maybe they can get Quentin Johnston to actually awaken. He kind of showed some flashes last year. It'd be nice if he was worth what they drafted him for this year. Also, running backs, if Najee Harris is good to go, which he had an interview. He finally had an interview, and bro was wearing the darkest shades ever. He's not beating the allegations, bro. He had the Weekend at Bernie's shades on. He is not letting you see his eye. Who knows if his eye's there? He might be playing like Fetty Wap at the end of the day. But he just got declared active today, so he's going to play week 1. Him and Amarion Hampton are going to be an insane lightning and thunder combination, Sonic and Knuckles type beat like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. It's going to be so much fun to watch them. Amarion Hampton, great out of the backfield, great, quick, speedy runner. Then you got Najee Harris, who is going to get 1,000 yards no matter what if he's healthy. He has ran for 1,000 yards every year since he has been drafted. No other running back in the league has done that as of right now with more than 5 seasons played. Najee Harris, dog. Best believe that. Dog. He's going to put a thumping on the Chiefs linebacker core. Now, Chris Jones could absolutely cause a problem with the run game. But aside from McDuffie, the corners in Kansas City are not that crazy. Justin Herbert has probably top 5, maybe top 3 strongest arms in the league. He has an amazing ticker, and he has amazing chemistry with his receivers. He can guide them in and out of zones. He can put it right where it needs to be, right in that crucial spot of the catch radius where the DB can't touch it, but the wide receiver can, all while dragging his feet inbounds to get it down inside the 20, get into the red zone. Then once they do that, they have to respect the pass. Now you can establish the run. As long as the offensive line can stop Chris Jones, they're going to be all right. Yeah, George Karlaftis is kind of a threat. I'm hoping that Mekhi Becton can. I'm a huge Mekhi Becton fan. He is huge. He is ginormous. They're going to need help with Chris Jones. George Karlaftis, he's sneaky good, but I think they played him enough. They know how to dial up stuff against him. Yeah, you got Leo Chenal and Nick Bolton, some of the best tackling linebackers in the league. They're going to be on the ball regardless of where they're tackled at, be it a 20-yard completion, be it a 3-yard tackle for loss. Nick Bolton or Leo Chenal likes to be there. They're going to have to expose the secondary if they want to win this game, but Justin Herbert can do it. He's got the arm, and we all know he does. I got Los Angeles winning this one. It's going to be a close game, though. It's going to be a real pleasure for the fans in Brazil to watch these two teams go at it. First game on the noon slate for Sunday, Arizona at New Orleans. Rattler railed by crafty Cardinals. We all know what's going on down there in New Orleans. Or we all know that no one knows what's going on down there in New Orleans. They picked Spencer Rattler to be the starter. We know what he is. We've seen what's in his bag. There's nothing new in the bag. We have known who Spencer Rattler is since high school. We know his game. We know his talents. We know his deficiencies. Why would you draft a guy like Tyler Shuck in the second round if you already know you're going to have him set behind Spencer Rattler? You really think he's learning anything from Spencer Rattler? No way in hell. Come on now. I know that they just got a new head coach, but Jesus Christ, have some nuts and establish your new offense. You didn't come here to coach Spencer Rattler. You came here to build a new dynasty, to get New Orleans back where they were, back when Drew Brees was there, back when he was on the same page with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, when Mark Ingram came up there for a little bit. You know how it was. The Saints were always lethal. They were a lock to win their division. Now they're a lock to get the first overall pick. You have to see what Shuck has. You saw him in the preseason. Shit wasn't that pretty. He was on his butt a lot. Just because you think you're scared of what you saw in the preseason does not mean you got to ride with Spencer Rattler. If you need Spencer Rattler to lose games for you, you can pull Shuck so he can do that. But you got to see what Shuck has. You can't take a guy like Tyler Shuck with that high of a draft pick. Yes, a second round pick is still high. And have him set behind a guy that wouldn't be a starter on the other 31 teams. You just can't do that. That is a recipe for failure, not success. And I want Kellen Moore to succeed. I've been watching Kellen Moore since he was the last left-handed quarterback to throw since before Tua, since after Michael Vick. All right? When he was down there in Dallas, backing up Tony Romo, when he was there when Dak Prescott won the job. I've been watching Kellen Moore for a long time when he was offensive coordinator for the Eagles, winning Super Bowls. When he was over there in Los Angeles as offensive coordinator, he was doing great things. I want him to do great things, but he can't do great things if Spencer Rattler's the starter. He can't. Chris Olave is already going to be on brain soup watch. Spencer Rattler throws hospital balls, man. Come on, he's going to get somebody killed. Alvin Kamara is going to be hurting after this game. First bullet point I wrote down, Kyler's ability to extend plays will be a nightmare to defend. Brother, Demario Davis is probably a Hall of Famer. Even he ain't going to be keeping up with Kyler Murray. You've seen his ability to stretch plays in the backfield, to get people open. He has the longest play time-wise that I've ever seen, and that's the one against the Raiders in the two-point conversion. He must have had the ball for 20, 30 seconds, just scrambling back and forth, waving guys over, putting guys forward, sending guys back. It was just insanity to watch, and he's going to be doing this all day against New Orleans, man. It's going to hurt to watch. I mean, I'm excited, but Jesus. All right, next. Got to put down that James Conner will keep defenses honest. Yeah, he's getting a little old, but he's still a bruising running back. If you go back and watch his highlights from last year, anytime he can get north-south, he's a problem. Now, he's not as hard of a runner as, say, Derrick Henry or a Najee Harris, but he's still got some pop in him. He'll still hurt a corner if a corner tries to take him head up. You're going to need to bring two guys if you want to do that. If they can stop James Conner from getting north-south, they can, kind of dial him up. But they also got Trey Benson, who basically looks like James Conner Jr., little less big, little more shifty, amazing catching passes out of the backfield, not too good on direct handoffs. He's more of an east-west runner, while James Conner's a north-south runner. There's only one guarantee I wrote down for this game. Marvin Harrison Jr. and or Trey McBride will have one home run play guaranteed. Home run play being 50 or more yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. on a go, dropping the bucket for at least 50, or Trey McBride getting 50 after he stiff arms two dudes before hurdling another. That's the type of players they got on this team. They're young. They're ready to rock and roll. Kyler Murray has what it takes. They just need to take that next step. Particularly, if it's me, I think it's coaching. Not throwing any shade at anyone. Jonathan Gannon seems like a nice guy. But Cliff Kingsbury kind of hampered my dude for a while, and I'm hoping he didn't pick up any bad habits. Also, luckily for the Cardinals, this game comes out before Battlefield 6, because my boy was on that beta. My boy was on that beta. So any games before October 7th, put the Cardinals in for a possible W. After October 7th, my buddy's going to be out there grinding with me and the team on Battlefield 6, getting all these mastery camos, getting our vehicles fully upgraded, playing all kinds of role playing. You know how it is. You've been in the Battlefield moments. It is what it is. Kyler Murray's a gamer. All that said, that entire rant I ran on about Spencer Rattler, it's entirely possible we see Tyler Shuck play in the second half. If it's evident, painfully clear that Spencer Rattler isn't doing anything for this offense, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Shuck come in. Shuck is more athletic. Who knows how he is throwing the ball against starting defenses? Maybe he just wants to see. I'd rather them rip the Band-Aid off this early than wait 8 weeks and then decide once you're 0-8 you're going to go with Shuck. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Hopefully there aren't any sad type of plays from Spencer Rattler, but it's entirely possible Shuck has to come in. On the other side, defensive rookies. Will Johnson, the corner that Arizona drafted, is that dude. Go look up his tape from Michigan. He is that guy. Walter Nolan. I don't know if he's going to be playing. He's listed as questionable right now, but he is an insane weapon on the defensive line. Big nose tackle, defensive tackle type beat. Kind of reminds me of a Jalen Carter. Kind of reminds you of I hate comparing people to Aaron Donald, but he's built like Aaron Donald. Watch out for Walter Nolan. He is huge. He's a great run stopper, and the Saints are going to be relying heavily on Alvin Kamara. He's going to be getting his number called 20, 30 times this game. He's their only offensive weapon that doesn't require throwing to. Yeah, Chris Olave could probably get down there for one big ball, but who knows if it's going to be underthrown or overthrown. Chris Olave can't adapt every single time on every single ball thrown his way. Brandon Cooks isn't the same dude. Yeah, he's back at where he came from, but dude, it's Brandon Cooks. He's like 50. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm taking Arizona in this one over New Orleans in a real knuckle dragger. Let's get on to the next game I have circled here, Miami at Indianapolis. And the headline for this one is Dan the Man does all he can in loss versus Dolphins. I got Miami winning this one. Yeah, Tyreek Hill is aging. Jalen Waddle likes to get injured. Devon Achane likes to get injured. You can't write them off on week 1. It's one thing to question their reliability in week 12. This is week 1. They've had a full off season of rest. And we've seen Tua and Tyreek are absolutely capable of being one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. So since it's week 1, I'm going to assume they're all at 100. And if they lock up Tyreek, there's Jalen Waddle running just as fast with just as much athletic potential. And then if they decide to lock up your receivers, there goes Devon Achane. Home run speed, north and south runner. He runs just as fast as the guys on the outside, except he does it by carrying the rock. This is a speed demon built team. We've seen it before. Nothing's changed when it comes to the weapons in the quarterback. We've all seen them succeed. And since it's week 1, why would you assume that they're not going to do the same thing against the Colts? The Colts, brother. DeForest Buckner, Zaire Franklin, and who? Those are the only names. Kenny Moore. This your man's Kenny Moore. I don't believe Kenny Moore is locking down Tyreek Hill. Call me a contrarian if you will, but that's the way I feel about it. You feel me? Jonathan Taylor is going to be a problem. He can get in the box. He can cause problems for your weapons. He is, when he's playing well, top 5 running back in the league. I'm not going to write him off the same way I didn't write off Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all them. However, his bar to success is much higher because there are less weapons to bring attention off of him on the Colts. Michael Pittman, while he's amazing, his size is insane. His physical ability is really good. I think they can lock down Michael Pittman pretty easily. If you lock down their best receiver, it's going to be easy to get on the running back. If for some reason, Josh Downs has a great game, Adonai Mitchell has a great game, Alex Pierce has a great game, and they start respecting the pass more, then they can start getting Jonathan Taylor going. But until then, it's going to be like a Saint situation where they're going to try to ride Jonathan Taylor all game, and it's going to be, I'm hoping that's not how it goes. I'm hoping that's not what's happening, but it seems likely. And to stop Jonathan Taylor, you best believe Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be in the box a lot. He is going to be laying the wood a lot. Him and Jonathan Taylor about to get to know each other very well. I would advise Daniel Jones to identify when Minkah is blitzing, if possible, and throw the other direction and flip the run the other direction because Minkah Fitzpatrick will take a head off. Don't you worry. I am excited to see Tyler Warren. If you watch his Penn State highlights, I have never in my entire football life seen a tight end running wildcat effectively. I've never seen it, period, but this dude ran it effectively, was getting first downs, fourth down conversions, was getting touchdowns as a tight end running wildcat on quarterback keepers. I have never seen that in my life. You know, the Colts are kind of not in the best quarterback situation. Let Tyler Warren go out there and run some wildcat with Jonathan Taylor. That would be so much fun to watch, and that would keep Miami on their toes. Now, they're not going to do it because Shane Steichen is a stickler for old school. He picked Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. Yeah, the mental capabilities is one thing, but let's not argue. We know who the most athletic quarterback is. It's not Dan Jones. Hopefully they utilize Tyler Warren in a way that gets him the ball frequently often. I hate when offensive specimen tight ends become blockers. Kind of like, bro, and they're not doing him any favors up there in Pittsburgh. Darnell Washington is an athletic freak. Go watch his combine tape. Go watch his college highlights. Athletic freak. But they don't make him stay in shape. He's had too much McDonald's, too many freaking beers up there in Yinzertown, pounding down PBRs. Brother, he's fat. They let him get too fat, and now he's not going to be an offensive weapon. Or like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts should have 15 touchdowns a game, but he's just over there blocking for Bijan. It sucks. I hate watching it happen. I don't want Tyler Warren to become a glorified blocker. That would just be an immense waste of talent. He needs to get the ball often. He is lethal with the ball in his hands. Yeah, he's a good blocker. You have to be as a tight end. But his proficiency is having the ball in his hands, making people pay for daring to tackle him. All right? You took him with your top pick for a reason. Utilize him. Brother wants to be fed. Feed the beast. Being that the Colts defense is not intimidating at all, you're going to be hearing some Tua talk after this game. He is going to start hot, but he always starts every season hot. That's before they go haymakers on his headpiece. That's before he gets something in his neck hurt or he starts fighting the demons again. Weeks 1 through 4, Tua is always dangerous. You're going to think the Dolphins are going to go to the Super Bowl. You think Mike McDaniel's the best young head coach since Sean McVay. Spoiler, McDaniel's on a freaking hot seat, which sucks. I like the guy. I like the way he approaches press conferences. He's funny. You saw him ripping the Benjamin on the sideline the other year. It was insane. I love Mike McDaniel, but this is definitely his last year in Miami if things go left for him. It's going to be a good game, I hope. I'm not too hopeful for Daniel Jones. Believe it or not, I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones fan, and I really like Anthony Richardson. I know I've been proven wrong time and time again. It just sucks seeing things happen to the Colts like this, man. They went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck to Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. Some of those names deserve 30-minute long documentaries made about them for how good they were. Others don't deserve to be on the back of a newspaper I read in the shitter. Colts need to find their identity with quarterback. Otherwise, Lenore Sellers, welcome to Indianapolis. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, we got Las Vegas at New England. Headline is as follows. Mayday, Mayday, Raiders crash and burn. If you couldn't tell from that, I'm picking the Patriots in this one. Name one defensive back on the Raiders. Name a defensive player on the Raiders not named Max Crosby. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, especially when they cut Christian Wilkins because he can't stop kissing his homies on the forehead. Meanwhile, the Patriots defense is scary good. Christian Gonzalez, top 5 corner in the league. Take it to the bank. Christian Gonzalez is a top 5 corner in this league. Absolutely. They're trying to get something done with Kyle Duggar. Hopefully it gets done. Then Christian Barmore is no slouch on the defensive line either. He's more of a run-stop guy, but he can get after your quarterback too, especially a guy like Geno, not the most mobile dude. So Gonzalez is probably going to take away their best catching threat, which will most likely be Brock Bowers. Hopefully it's not the Jacoby Myers show only. They just got Amari Cooper in there, but there is some kind of contract dispute with Jacoby Myers. Hopefully they get that sorted out. They cannot afford to be down a wide receiver. in the backfield. Ashton Genty didn't have the craziest preseason. They need to get him going. If they can get him going, the Raiders stand a chance. But if not, it's going to be a long day for the Raiders. It's in Foxborough. Drake May's looking to have that big second-year leap. He's looking to get on the same page with Stephon Diggs. This is finally the biggest offensive receiver they've had brought in the building since, like, I mean, you can count Antonio Brown, but he was already on the downhill since, like, freaking Randy Moss. They really don't go after wide receiver free agents that well that were big ticket items. Now, yes, Stephon Diggs is older. He had his little vacation down there in Houston, but hopefully he can replicate that stuff he had in Buffalo, that stuff he had in Minnesota. If he can get to even 80% of what he had in Buffalo, Drake May is going to feast. Drake May is deceptive now. I know y'all don't be watching tape. Drake May, cannon of an arm. Also has this deceptively fast mobility. Real lunch pail type of guy. First one in, last one out. But he is, though, for real. If you don't take Drake May seriously, he will dot you up. So just the Raiders need to be on their P's and Q's. Max Crosby needs to get in the backfield quickly and early. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day. If they can figure out how to lock down Max Crosby, then it's going to be a blowout for New England. I got New England winning this one, and not necessarily in a close game either. One of the most exciting games for me personally is the Steelers at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers going back to New York to show him that it wasn't his fault. Now, if y'all went and watched my quarterback ranking list, you'll know Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback in this league. Aaron Rodgers threw for more passing yards than Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers threw for more touchdowns than Pat Mahomes. You know, other players that you might have heard of. And he did it on the Jets. The problem last year was not Aaron Rodgers. That's why they went ahead and got Aaron Glenn in the building. Maybe a regime change was in order, and Aaron Rodgers wasn't part of that. He's going to make sure they pay for doubting him. Aaron Rodgers is going to be getting real familiar with DK Metcalf, Jalen Warren in the backfield, the rookie Caleb Johnson, who's just a Najee Harris copy-paste clone. He's going to be in the backfield getting some carries. I expect Aaron Rodgers to dot up this Jets defense. Yeah, Sauce Gardner is going to try his best to shadow DK Metcalf. Personally, I think DK Metcalf big body Sauce Gardner. Bro is in the gym. If you look at Sauce Gardner, he's a pencil. He's quick. He's got good hand-eye coordination, and he can jump out the gym. But I just think DK Metcalf's going to moss him. That's just me personally. I'm a huge DK Metcalf truther. Then tight end Jonnu Smith is no slouch either. He's not a really... They got Fryermuth as a blocking tight end. They got Darnell Washington to block. But Jonnu Smith still has some frontline speed. He can still make a linebacker miss. So best believe that he's going to be a nice check down for Aaron Rodgers when the receivers aren't open. I wrote down a couple notes about the defense. Don't be surprised to see 10-plus sacks by Pittsburgh. That was the first bullet point I wrote down by the defense. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith will feast upon Justin Fields. Brother. The Jets O-line, trash. TJ Watt, arguably the best defensive player in the league, depending on who you ask. I personally say Myles Garrett. And then across from him, Alex Highsmith is insane. They're going to tear the Jets apart. Justin Fields is going to be running for his life. If he's running for his life, he's not going to be able to see his receivers, which... Aside from Garrett Wilson, who is there? Alan Lazard? Alan Lazard is not going to have a takeover game. Whoever their tight end happens to be. They drafted some rookie. I don't even know his name. I forgot his name. Brother, it's not looking too hot for the Jets. I like Justin Fields. I like his shiftiness and his running ability. But, dude, throwing him to the Wolves against TJ Watt is going to be terrible for the kids' morale. Also, don't forget the Steelers signed Jalen Ramsey. He's going to be all over Garrett Wilson. So now what? Now, freaking Alan Lazard has to get open. And you know, he's a sleeper agent for Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to do anything. He's going to pretend, oh, my hammy hurts, or he's going to miss wide open catches because his homie's on the other team. You already know he's a sleeper cell. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is still a dog. I got the Steelers winning this one handily. Book it. I'll come back on here and tell them I was full of crap if it's wrong, but I got the Steelers winning this one absolutely hand over fist. Another noon game. We got Carolina at Jacksonville. Headline is as follows. BTJ takes the Panthers back to school. Carolina's secondary, it's unfortunate. Well, they got J.C. Horn and who else? They got rid of Jeremy Chin. That's all I can really think of. J.C. Horn. And, bro, he can't cover the entire field. BTJ is going to be burning. Bro, Travis Hunter is that dude. If you doubt Travis Hunter on either side of the ball, that's where he's going to carve you up. So if Carolina doesn't respect him as a receiver, he's going to carve him up. If they think, oh, his receiving ability doesn't translate well to his defensive ability, he's going to snatch the ball away, take it to the crib. Bryce Young's going to be looking stupid if that happens. Also, Bryce Young's best weapon last year was Adam Thielen. They traded him back to the Vikings. The entire receiving room is literally just Xavier Legette and Tet McMillan. That's it. He has to be good. They can't afford for him not to be good because, bro, Rico Dowdle is not going to put this team on his back. Chuba Hubbard is not going to put the team on his back. Now, Chuba's going to try. Chuba's got heart representing Oklahoma State. Go Cowboys. But he can't do it all by himself. Bryce Young's going to need to pull something out of a hat. Otherwise, Trevor Lawrence is just going to have a field day on this secondary. It might get ugly, or it might be a low-scoring game. I have no idea. I'm taking Jacksonville in this one, but, brother, Carolina needs to figure out their defensive situation. Otherwise, they're going to have a top 5 pick again this year, and it sucks watching Carolina waste their picks. All right, next up, we got the Giants at the Commanders. Now, just because I'm running the greatest Madden franchise with Giants franchise doesn't mean I'm also not realistic. Jaden Daniels won Offensive Player of the Year for a reason. He is the truth. He's probably the greatest quarterback talent we've seen since Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts giving Lamar a run for his money. His ability to extend the play is that like Kyler Murray. He has the arm of a guy like Baker Mayfield or a guy like Josh Allen. He has the shiftiness of a guy like Lamar Jackson. He has it all. And he's got his number one weapon back in the building. Terry McLaurin signed the deal. He's going to be in Washington for the foreseeable future. I'm excited to watch this team. They're going to be amazing. You got the ageless wonder, Zach Ertz at tight end. Running back leaves some room to be desired. They got rid of Brian Robinson, sent him packing to San Francisco. So really it's just Bill Krosky-Merritt and Austin Eckler. That is going to be a problem. They're not going to be able to have teams respect the run, and you can't run read option all the time. Jaden Daniels will get hurt. He's not that big of a dude. He's kind of skinny, so this defensive line on the Giants could cause problems. Oh, also, another weapon they brought in. Not really a flashy name, but Laramie Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in the league. He's going to be shoring up that O-line. Jaden Daniels is going to have all day, and they're going to need it against the Giants because their defensive line is some heat. Their defensive line is the truth. Defense leaves some room to be desired. They got Jeremy Chin. They got the ageless wonder Bobby Wagner. But other than that, they really don't have any crazy weapons. Like Emmanuel Forbes isn't that crazy of a weapon. So hopefully Malik Neighbors doesn't dot him up too bad because the Giants, I don't think they're going to win this game, but they have absolutely a lot of potential to upset the Commanders. Malik Neighbors is that dude. Mark my words, Malik Neighbors will be a top 3 receiver in this league in the next 2 years. It's going to be him, Jettas, and Jamar. Malik Neighbors is the truth. If he can find one of these quarterbacks to get on the same page with, he is going to be a household name and homes around America. Personally, I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be the guy he does it with. And they just announced Jackson Dart is the 2. He took Jameis' spot already. Jameis is the 3. So I'm thinking Russ might be on a short leash. But other than that, they don't really have any offensive weapons. Their defense, though, defensive line is crazy. Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle in the league. Brian Burns is one of the best edge rushers in the league. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be amazing off the other side. Also, can't count out the linebackers. Bobby Okereke, one of the best defensive signal callers in the league. Don't count out Micah McFadden either. Tyler Nubin is a great young safety. They got Javon Holland brought in from Miami. Corners, Paulson Adebo from the Saints is their best corner. He is by no means terrible, but he's by no means a CB1 on a lot of these other teams in the league. That might be where they struggle. Corners, Terry McLaurin might chop them up. This is going to be a close game. I think team play, they're pretty close, but I'd give the edge to Washington. This might be like a 27-24 type game. It's going to be a fun game. Make sure you watch. Next up, we got Cincinnati at Cleveland. I got Cincinnati winning this one. Headline is Joe Shiesty blushes Browns. Next, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Badass Baker flusters Falcons. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Meke Egbuka. That is an amazing trio of wide receivers. You got the future Hall of Famer and honestly the best Buccaneer in team history in Mike Evans, teaching a brand new moldable piece of clay in Emeka Egbuka. And then you got Chris Godwin, who hopefully, if he isn't injured, able to take pressure off of those two. Baker's going to have a field day. I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks 40 touchdowns again this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up to 50. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, wide receiving rooms when it comes to potential in the entire league. Also, you got Bucky Irving, who was a phenom rookie last year, who's looking to extend himself and his ability this year. Hopefully, Tristan Wirfs is good to go. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. Baker Mayfield, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Honestly, he's on the short list for MVP if you went ahead and look at the stats last year. Second in passing yards, second in touchdowns, didn't throw that many picks, still has a cannon of an arm and still likes to scramble. What more could you ask for out of the Heisman winner? Then on the defense, Vita Vea, one of the best run stoppers in the league, but he'll also get in the backfield. Michael Penix is not that elusive. He can get aside the center and get in the backfield real quick. He is deceptively fast. Also, you got the ageless one, Levante David, signal caller for the linebacking core. He'll be up there making sure Michael Penix doesn't get too shifty. And right behind him, Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield Jr. Antoine Winfield Jr. is one of the best young safeties in the league. They paid him because of it. He's going to be able to take away guys like Drake London. He's going to make sure that this is not Kyle Pitts' year, 6-time the charm, fell for it again award. He's going to take away one of these weapons, and the rest of the team can handle the other. I'm not too worried about Drake London having his way. I'm not too worried about Kyle Pitts having his way. A little worried about Bijan Robinson, because he's a good east-west runner, and Vita Vea does better against north-south runners coming through the box. Bijan Robinson will be good off the sides. He's good in the receiving game as well. That's going to be the Falcons' key if they want a chance of winning this game. They got to get Bijan Robinson going. If he does not get going, they will lose. They will start calling for Kirk Cousins at the half if this becomes ugly. Tampa Bay is going to win this game. I don't even think it's going to be that close. Michael Penix has a lot on his plate. This is the first game of many hard games on the Falcons' schedule. They got hoed when it comes to the schedule makers. And they got Tampa Baker coming into their house ready to knock the block off in Atlanta. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out, haymaker festival. Be sure you tune in. Next up, in the afternoon window on Sunday, San Francisco versus Seattle. Our headline for this game is not even 12 men can stop CMC. Brother is back and ready to rock. You already know, just like Tua, CMC is lethal for the first 6 weeks of the year. He's going to be catching amazing screens. He's going to be going deep on wide receiver routes. He's going to be trucking. He's going to be jumping, spinning, juking, stiff arming. He is so good. Him and Brock Purdy are just on a different wavelength of connection, dude. And Brock's going to show why he got paid that bag. Best believe that. Brock Purdy is going to show he is worth every penny of that contract in this game versus Seattle. Divisional game, two teams that hate each other. You already know it's going to be some knockdown, drag-out, hard-nosed football. And who would you rather have playing hard-nosed, knockdown, drag-out football than a guy like George Kittle? Made tight end day a national holiday. George Kittle going to feast. I'm not too intimidated about that Seattle defense. They got Big Cat on the D-line, but then there's Trent Williams, best left tackle in the league. He going to solve that problem real quick. Same with Boye Mafe. He going to solve that problem real quick. Don't you worry. That left side is going to be locked down like Fort Knox, like Alcatraz, like The Rock. Seattle's linebacking core definitely leaves a lot to be desired. What they got? Ernest Jones, the guy that bounced from the Rams to the Titans to the Seahawks. Not too intimidated by the linebackers. They haven't really had any guy back there calling shots since B-Wags. Corners, they got Reek Woolen. He's all right. Him and Brandon Ayuk are going to be going at it. I personally am not a Brandon Ayuk truther. I think this passing game is going to go through George Kittle and CMC. Absolutely 100%. I got San Francisco winning this one. CMC back to form, back to basics, back to rocking. All day, every day, no problem. Pimp decision. I got San Francisco winning this one in a close one. Next up, also in the afternoon time slot, Tennessee at Denver. Headline, Bo Nix, only 10 I see. Sean Payton is going to finally be unleashed. He knows what he's got in Bo Nix. He's had an entire offseason with him and these new people to get on the right page and the right time in the right uniform to go knock someone's block off. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, I love football. It's going to be so much fun. Sean Payton, to me, personally, Hall of Fame head coach. Yeah, I know Bountygate. Who cares? Who cares about Bountygate? Not me. Shoot, in Madden, I'll be paying my players. They get bigger contracts the more injuries they cause. Just kidding. Hey, cut that out. Editor, cut that out. Cut that out, okay? All right, cool. I don't have an editor. It's just me. I'm in my ex-wife's garage. Come on now. This defense, Pat Surtain, Jahdae Barron, people like Browning, people on the line like, what's his name? Zach Allen. Dude, this is going to be a welcome to the NFL moment for Cam Ward. You thought the preseason looked rough? Buddy, PS2 is getting a pick. He's getting at least one, and it might go to the crib. Cam Ward's going to be pressured because that Tennessee offensive line is not too hot. Tennessee has no running game, to my knowledge. Name their starting running back. It's Tony Pollard. The wash dude from Dallas. And then receiving, dude. Calvin Ridley is not the guy he was in Atlanta 5 years ago. It's Calvin Ridley. PS2 is going to lock up Calvin Ridley, and that's going to give the defense free reign to do whatever they want with the other 10 players. If Cam Ward can't throw the ball, dude, he's going to find out real quick that the speed he was playing at Miami where he's just... That ain't going to fly in the NFL, big dog. Defensive player of the year is going to be on this defense. All right. He's the reigning crown holder, and he's going to show you why for a reason. Pat Surtain is a dog, and Cam Ward's going to find out real quick, real soon, that just because you went number one overall don't mean you can play with the big dogs just yet. I'm not a Cam Ward hater, but I am definitely a realist. Okay. Let's not put the carriage before the horse. All right. Cam Ward has to come in there with managed expectations. And personally, to me, the expectation is Denver's going to win this game. Obviously, he's not going to be thinking that because he's on the other team. But everyone out there who is a realist is going to see that Denver has this team locked up defensively. I'm not even too concerned about Denver's offense because Tennessee's defense is nothing to write home about. Bo Nix, he was a offensive rookie of the year finalist. I think he's going to be even leaps and bounds better than he was last year, this year. He's got a running back I am 100% on the hype trade for, RJ Harvey. Watch RJ Harvey tape, okay, at UCF. Insane tape. Dude was running Wildcat. Dude was coming out the backfield. He was on his Dante Hall joystick type beat. That's what he looked like. He looked like you plugged the control in on Madden and then put your other opponents on a DDoS switch so they was lagging. RJ Harvey has insane ball awareness, has insane ball carrier vision. His center of gravity is so low that he can just juke on a dime. It's insane. Please, I'm begging you, go watch RJ Harvey tape. This is like the third video I've said it in. You need to watch his tape. He's going to be running back one for the Broncos. You've never heard of him? Shame on you. The last bullet point I wrote down. Tennessee run game is underlined 3 times laughable. That's all I'm going to say about that. And now, getting into the ball-like Barry, ball knowers game of the week. Detroit at Green Bay, 3:25 Central Standard Time, September 7th, in the year of our Lord 2025. Headline for this, just game of the week. That's it. They've been talking like Micah Parsons might be injured, like that get the bagitis spread to his lower back. Micah Parsons will be fine. Micah Parsons and Jared Goff are going to get real intimate. Penei Sewell will try as he might, but you can't stop Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. You got to pick one. The other guy's getting home. Jared Goff is getting sacked at least 7 times this game. Book it. Take it to the bank. Book it. Go to your Indian gaming casinos. Put a ticket on it. All right? 7 sacks. Green Bay's got it. Don't be surprised if it hits double digits either. It's going to be so much fun to watch. And then while we're pressuring Jared Goff, you got to worry about Xavier McKinney getting a pick. It seemed like every week last year, I was texting my buddy who's a Giants fan, hey, thanks for Xavier McKinney. Really appreciate it. He got another pick today. It was every single week. It's so good. Our defense is so nice. I'm so excited that we'll have an actual good defense this year. I'm going to close the garage door. When it comes, I'm just going to break down each position group, all right? Packers offense, hoping that Matthew Golden is the truth. He finally changed his number from that whack-ass 22 to a real number, which wasn't real till a couple years ago, number 0. Thank God. 22 on a wide receiver looks god-awful. Look at the dude in Kansas City wearing 24. Well, he didn't wear it no more. He's not on the team anymore. Just look at it. Bro, it's not a good look. Matthew Golden got his number changed. Now he's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's just how it works. Christian Watson will not be playing this game. It's kind of speculated he won't be good to go until like week 6. So we're already down a receiver. Dontavion Wick's been having issues. Jesus. So it's just going to be Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed. Now, we saw Jaden Reed last year. He'd be a wide receiver 1 on some teams. Personally, I don't think he's wide receiver 1 on the Packers. He does better as the wide receiver. He does better when defenses aren't solely focused on stopping him. But he's still great. Him and Matthew Golden are going to feast. Also, Tucker Kraft, one of the best young tight ends in the league right now. Up there with Trey McBride. Up there with Brock Bowers. He's going to be doing great things for Jordan Love. Personally, I'm ready for Jordan Love to go ahead and take that next step now. He doesn't have to keep waiting. He can go ahead and take the next step into elite. I know he's been biding his time, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it. You know, I saw today Brett Favre won his Super Bowl at age 27. Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl at age 27. Jordan Love just turned 27. You know what the standard is. You know what the expectations are. I need to go ahead and meet the standards. Backing him up. Right behind Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, one of the hardest hitting running backs in the league, one of the best north-south runners in the league. Not too crazy catching passes, but could still do it. He brought every single bit of talent he had with the Raiders and transferred 100% of that with 0 packet loss to Green Bay. Our offensive line kind of tore it up. Our center's out. We got, I think, Billy Price moving over to center, which leaves a hole on the left side of the offensive line. Not too worried about it. Jordan Love is perfectly capable of diagnosing defenses and calling plays from there. On the side of the Lions, offense, always lethal. Jesus. The Lions offense is good. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown, a top 20 player on the NFL top 100. Then you got the speedster, Jameson Williams. He's always hard to deal with. In the backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in the league. The guy who I took with my first round pick in fantasy this year. Sucks to do that because I'm a Packers fan, but hey, it is what it is. Also, don't ever sleep on the Lions' offensive line. Penei Sewell, one of the best offensive linemen in the league. He's ready to rock and roll. You also got the kid, Sam Laporta, one of the best young tight ends in the league, just sitting across from Tucker Kraft. They're 2 fruits off the same tree. They're good at catching balls. They're good at blocking for runners. They're good at protecting the quarterback. They can do it all. Sam Laporta is that dude. He was so much fun to watch his rookie year. Kind of took a year off, ready for him to get back in the saddle this year. Lions on defense. Hutch is back. I just saw Aiden Hutchinson sleeping under my bed telling me it's all going to be okay. Don't you worry. All right. Hutch is a nightmare. I am terrified. I would have been so much happier if Jacksonville took Aiden Hutchinson, but they had to take Trayvon Walker for some freaking reason, and Hutch went to the Lions, went to my division rival. I'm so upset that he's going to be haunting me for decades. Also, can't count out Jack Campbell, amazing linebacker. Probably the best safety duo in the league with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph just got the bag. Highest paid safety until Kyle Hamilton got paid. But right before Kyle Hamilton got paid, it was Kirby Joseph. Also, young corners on the side, Terrion Arnold. He did fine his rookie year. He's going to do just fine. He reminds me of Quinyon Mitchell in Philadelphia. They kind of seem like peas in a pod. So Jordan Love is going to have to find places in this defense to put the football. They can't cover the entire field, but they can cover 90% of it. And Jordan Love needs to live in that 10%. He needs to operate in that 10%. He needs to be precise, scalpel-like throws, precision, precision, precision. In the artillery world, it's called putting warheads on foreheads, okay? You got to make that round hit exactly where you want it to hit. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt, okay? I got Green Bay winning because I'm a homer, but if Detroit wins, you can't say you didn't see it coming, all right? These are 2 great teams. The 2 favorites to win their division, they're going to be slugging it out all year with their opponents. Don't be surprised if you see these 2 teams playing again in the playoffs, particularly in the NFC Championship. These are both championship caliber teams. These are both Super Bowl caliber teams. This is going to be a slugfest because everyone is healthy. Everyone's ready to go. They're ready to knock the rust off, and they're ready to use the other guy's face mask to do it. It's going to be so exciting. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be fundamentals. It's going to be intangibles. It's going to be pure athletic ability meets pure mental stamina. I'm so excited to see these two excellent coaches in Dan Campbell and Matt LaFleur play 4D chess with their players. I'm ready to see these defenses take the heads off receivers legally. I'm ready to see these receivers absolutely dust corners, set new 40-yard dash records with cleats and pads on and the rock in their hands. It's going to be such a good game. Game of the week. Make sure you get time off to watch it. Don't be doing no errands. Mow your yard in the morning. Mow your yard after church if you want to skip the noon games. Make sure your ass is in your seat with your popcorn in one hand and your beverage of choice in the other. So you're watching this game. You're tuning into good football because America is better when good football is on. I don't know if you can tell. I love football. This is my passion. I'm up at 12:52 in the morning in my ex-wife's garage doing football videos because I love it so much. This game is one of the reasons why I love football. Seeing all these players match up, rock, paper, scissors type thing, looking like a Pokemon type weakness strength list. This player is good at this, but this player is better at this, but this player counters it with this. It's so much fun to watch, and I'm so excited that y'all get to watch it with me. Next up, another great afternoon game. Houston at the Rams. Headline for this one, Matt Stafford back in action. They said he's ready to go week 1. I don't know if something was actually wrong or if he just wanted to pull the vet card and not go to training camp. The offense isn't new to him, okay? Matt Stafford's going to know the offense. Him and Sean McVay are going to be on the same wavelength. What's crazy is, yes, the Rams got Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua is as good as ever. Kyron Williams just got a huge contract relatively for a running back. Matt Stafford is their Super Bowl caliber quarterback who I'm so glad isn't on the Lions anymore, but I'm more excited to watch the Rams defense. This Rams defense is so good. I went over it in another video. They drafted Byron Young. They drafted Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, all 3 of those guys to replace Aaron Donald. That's 3 men to replace 1 guy, but they have the ability to do that. Jared Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year for a reason, and he's on the short list to go ahead and win that Defensive Player of the Year. Jared Verse is insane. He made Teron Armstead retire. Go watch Teron Armstead's interview, and he said one of the things he's looking forward to most about not playing football anymore is that he doesn't have to face Jared Verse. Brother got knocked into retirement by a rookie. And then across from him, Byron Young is just as good, just doesn't have as much flashy plays. Kobe Turner is insane stopping the run. Chris Jones at home type beat. DeForest Buckner at home type beat, but he's still good. He still gets schemed up on lots of stunts by Sean McVay. Sean McVay is an amazing defensive-minded coach. Now, secondary on the Rams leaves a lot to be desired. CJ Stroud might be dotting this team up, but that's if CJ Stroud has enough time to throw the ball. They're going to be in the backfield, and they're going to be stopping the run. Hopefully him and Tank Dell can get back on their wavelength. It sucks when Tank Dell got injured, man. He's such a good receiver. Him and CJ Stroud are one of the best duos in the league, but it just seems like right when they get going, something happens. It sucks. They also got Laramie Tunsil not on the team no more. He's on the Commanders now. I hate that, man. Hate it. So the Texans, Nico Collins, arguably top 10 wide receiver when he's playing good, probably right at that number 10 spot. But him and Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, don't sleep on him as a tight end. He likes to get open. He's sneaky with it, kind of like Jason Witten. You'd be like, how the hell did Jason Witten get open? But he did. And he just finds a way to do it. CJ Stroud had a down year, but that was still one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. He had a down year compared to his rookie self. That slump's over now. He's going to be back with it, ready to rock, ready to roll when it gets up to this week 1 game. And then on defense, Derek Stingley, highest paid corner in the league. And he earned it too. Derek Stingley will lock down your number 1. Devontae Adams and or Puka Nacua are going to be mad after this game is over, I assure you, because Derek Stingley going to lock him up. Jalen Petrie not to be trifled with either. He don't make a lot of plays, but he don't get thrown to a lot. I like Jalen Petrie. On the defensive line, Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. That's a dude right there. Not no J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney type beat, but brother, He's going to be making some offensive linemen's day hell. Matt Stafford isn't that mobile. If he gets hit one time by Will Anderson on a free look, Matt Stafford might go down. He's not going to want to go down. He's not going to want to leave the game, but we know Matt Stafford isn't the most durable quarterback right now. We know that it's like when a fighter gets a cut on his eye. Now the opponent is only punching that eye. They know if I get that eye enough, he will not be able to see. He will not be able to fight. And that is Matt Stafford's back. If he gets crunched the wrong way, if he gets popped the wrong way, or he falls the wrong way, he might be out. Then you got Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball, or you got Stetson Bennett throwing the ball. Devontae Adams does not want that. We all saw what happened last time Devontae Adams had to catch from Jimmy Garoppolo. Brother got the Taco Bell taken out of his house and moved to Los Angeles. Can't be having all that. I got the Rams winning this one. Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford. Sorry about you, Houston fans. It's not going to be a bad game. It's going to be a close game. Sunday night football. Baltimore at Buffalo. MVP from last year versus the MVP before him. Battling it out in a contest of wits and physical ability, dropping haymakers and long bombs on each other. Whoever's last man standing will be the one that wins. This might be a replay of that Rams-Chiefs game, the Monday Night Classic, that went 54-51. I could absolutely see both of these teams dropping 50. This is definitely my favorite to good. What if y'all bet? I don't bet. If y'all bet the over. I don't care what it is. It could be 70. Bet the over. Because these teams are going to be trading haymakers. Their secondaries aren't too crazy, so they're going to be able to pass the ball with efficiency. Now, I'd probably give the edge to the Ravens in this game. Their defense is slightly better than the Bills. The Bills defense, who knows who's playing corner? Maxwell Hairston is injured. Tre'Davious White has some kind of nagging injury going on. They don't have any corners. Taylor Rapp is not going to be able to lock down the Ravens' weapons. Meanwhile, the Ravens got Kyle Hamilton, the best safety in the league. They got Jair Alexander, who is no slouch, who is still one of the best corners in the league. They got him from Green Bay. They got Patrick Queen, one of the best linebackers in the league. Their defensive line is always big and ready to rock your world. Meanwhile, on offense, Lamar Jackson is probably the most dangerous quarterback in the entire National Football League, and he's probably the most dangerous quarterback we've seen since Michael Vick. He has such a acute ability to put the ball where it needs to go when he's throwing. And he's got amazing deep ball wide receivers in Zay Flowers and Rashawn Bateman. They got DeAndre Hopkins, who, if anything, is still a great set of hands. Also, yeah, Mark Andrews had a bad drop in the playoffs, but he's still one of the best tight ends in the league. Isaiah likely got some kind of nagging foot injury, but once he gets back, that'll be another weapon for him to use. And we haven't even talked about Derrick Henry, who is arguably, depending on who you ask, the best running back in the league. Right now it's Saquon, but it could easily change depending on the headlines that happen, depending on the stat lines that get dropped. Derrick Henry could absolutely become King Henry again and become the offensive player of the year favorite just because Saquon had an amazing season. Doesn't take away anything that Derrick has been doing. Derrick Henry is absolutely top 2 running backs in this league. Interchangeable with one depending on who you ask and what week you ask him. I don't see how the Bills defense can stop this Ravens team. Their defensive line is okay. Ed Oliver is decent at stopping the run. Rousseau is decent at stopping the run. But they're not going to be able to contain everyone. If Derrick Henry gets rumbling and they start switching to stopping the run, Lamar Jackson's going to dot you up. And then once you think we can stop the run and the pass, Lamar Jackson will take it himself. They don't have anyone on the team that can be a spy for Lamar Jackson. None of their linebackers are that athletic. And if you take a safety out of the box, he's going to throw a deep bomb to Zay Flowers over your head top. I don't see how the Bills win. I got the Ravens winning this one. It's going to be a close, high-scoring game, but in the end, the Ravens will eke it out and they'll take the W. Last game on the docket, Chicago versus Minnesota. Monday Night Football, first Monday Night Football game of the year, and it should be a pretty good one. Now, this is not the NFC North matchup everyone's going to be tuning into. That'll be the Lions versus the Packers, but this is still a good game. You get to see Caleb Williams in the new offense. You get to see if they actually fix the offensive line so he's not the 4th most sacked quarterback in NFL history. You get to see if he finally got on the same page with these receivers, if him and DJ Moore are going to be able to actually replicate some of the success they had last year, if him and Luther Burden are able to get on the same page, if him and Rome Odunze can on the same page, or Cole Kmet, or Colston Loveland. There's a lot of young, ready to rock and roll talent on this team, and I'm excited to see it come out. However, Caleb Williams His spidey sense goes off a little early sometimes, and he scrambles when he doesn't need to. He gets out of clean pockets because he's scared of getting sacked, and he should be. It happened way too many times last year. And also, there's not really a running back that can alleviate some of that pressure. DeAndre Swift, personally, I think he's kind of lost a step. Roschon Johnson definitely is not going to be the number one guy. I don't know what they could do when it comes to running backs. There's not really a lot I would see. The only thing I could see them doing is trading for a guy that a team has kind of given up on. Someone like Travis Etienne on Jacksonville. They're kind of moving on with Tank Bigsby and Bashal Tutin. Get Etienne in there. He'd be a good check down release valve. I'd rather have Travis Etienne than DeAndre Swift right now. Or if it becomes apparent that Tyrone Tracy is that dude, go ahead and get Singletary to Chicago. Or vice versa, if Tyrone Tracy isn't that dude, the Giants can trade Tracy to the Bears. They need a running back, a definitive number one, not a guy that would be number two on a bunch of other teams. And right now, that's all I see out of DeAndre Swift. When it comes to the Bears defense, there's a lot to be desired. A lot to be desired. You got Tremaine Edmonds, who's okay. The secondary group, a little old, not going to lie to you. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with people like Justin Jefferson. Dude, TJ Hawkinson is absolutely capable of finding soft spots in zones as well. Chicago runs a lot of zone defense. They have to. They don't have a lot of speed on the defensive side of the ball. I think if J.J. McCarthy has his noodle on straight and has a good brain between his ears, he'll be able to diagnose those zone defenses and surgically put the ball where he needs to, scalpel type beat. That's really going to be the main question of this game. Is J.J. McCarthy that guy? He had to sit the entire year last year while Sam Darnold did his thing. Minnesota's rocking with him. They brought in Carson Wentz to be the veteran backup to give him some guidance. But this is the J.J. McCarthy show. They got Aaron Jones in the backfield. Like I said, Justin Jefferson. To me, the best receiver in the league. A lot of people say Jamar Chase, but to me, it's Jettas, just because I see him so much in the NFC North. Then you got TJ Hawkinson, one of the best tight ends in the league when it comes to catching the football. JJ McCarthy has all the things he needs to succeed. All he has to do is prove us right. That's it. Just succeed. We're giving him the answers to the test. He has to take the test and pass. That's it. I think when it comes to man-on-man matchups, Chicago is going to have a slight edge. Their potential is just so much more. The only thing Minnesota can do is pray Jettas has a takeover game. I think there are many more avenues of success on the offensive side of the ball for Chicago. DJ Moore, one of the two tight ends, one of the two other young receivers. I just think there's much more avenues of success for them than there are for Minnesota. So I'm going to take Chicago in a close one. It'll be a good game, though. Definitely worthy of that Monday night primetime slot. So that'll about wrap things up for this second episode of the Gotta Know Ball Show. I've been your host, Ball Like Barry. The rules are always simple. You gotta know ball. But if you don't, I'll help you out along the way. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to get some good NFL football under my belt. It's been far too long. I hope you have a good day. You are loved. I promise you are loved. Even if you don't feel it right now, I promise you are loved by someone. I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a good day.
You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You'll never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball Like Barry. You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You'll never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball Like Barry, Ball Like Barry, Ball Like Barry. It's Ball Like Barry, it's Ball Like Barry. Ball like Barry, ball like Barry, it's ball like Barry. You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love.